Geometry Module 6, Lesson 4, Understanding Nets of Solid Figures, Cube, Cuboid, Prism, Pyramid. Now that we know how to identify the solid figures and understand how they are formed, we are going to take a closer look at how to draw and identify their nets. Nets are simply a two-dimensional drawing of all the sides that can be folded to form these solids. Alright students, these are the objectives of this lesson. Identify the nets of a cube, cuboid, prism, and pyramid. Number 2, identify the solids that can be formed by a given net. Thirdly, make three-dimensional solids from given nets. Keeping in mind that a solid figure can have more than one net, let's try out some simple questions. Question 1, students, which of the following is the net of the solid figure shown? So this is the solid figure shown. Take a close look at it and you will realize, what do you see in this? You see it is a prism with two triangular faces and three rectangular faces. That's one right there. That's the second one. And that's the third one. So you've got two triangular faces and three rectangular faces. That automatically rules out figure A. So let's cross figure A out. So figure A crossed out. Let's look at the other three figures. Now let's look at D. If you look at the prism, the figure that is given, you realize that the two triangles have to be in contact with all three rectangles. But in figure D, you realize that one of the rectangles is not in contact with any of the triangles. So that rules out D. So let's kind of cross out D. That leaves us with B and C. Now this is the part where you really have to start figuring out how to fold this net to get the prism. And if you try to fold B, you will realize that you will have problem with one of the rectangles. You won't be able to fold it to the other side to complete the prism. Whereas with C, you will not have that problem. It easily folds and it gives you that prism. So cross out B and your final answer is C. Figure C is the net of the solid figure given. Question 2, which solid can be formed by the following net? So this is the net given, right? This is the net given. And let's look at this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles and 1 square, which means you can basically assume that the square is going to be the base. So let's look at the 4 options given. Option A doesn't have a square at all. It has got all triangular faces. So let's cross out option A. So option A crossed out. Option B has got three rectangles or 3 squares, and it's got a base triangle. Actually, it's got 2 triangular faces, so that's ruled out as well because we are only looking for a figure with 1 square base. What about C? C is a cube and it's got no triangles at all, so that's crossed out. That leaves us with what? That leaves us with D, and D is the correct answer. Figure D is the solid formed by this net. Question 3, students, last question of this lesson. The following figure shows the net of a cube. Which letter is directly opposite the letter F? Okay, now for this to happen, there are 2 ways to do it. We can reason out or we can fold the net. Let's do it both ways. In a cube, 2 faces that are directly opposite cannot share an edge. So when you try to fold this net, you'll realize that this is an edge to F, this will be an edge to F, and this will also be an edge to F. That we can automatically rule out these 3 letters. We can rule out E, B, and C. So let's do that. Let's rule out E, B, and C. E, B, and C. Alright, to find out whether it is going to be the letter D or A, let's draw the cube. We already know it's not going to be C, B, or E. Let's figure out how this, let's name them, let's give them a letter, and then we can see how it goes from there. So let's see, let's start off with F. Let's start off with F, okay? And you realize that E is going to be right next to it on the left hand side. What is going to be on top? What is going to be on top is going to be B, right? What is going to be on the right hand side? On the right hand side is going to be the letter C. So what is going to be on the base? The base is going to be, following that pattern, you realize that D is going to be the base. That leaves A on the opposite side. A is on the opposite side. So what is the answer? The answer is the letter A. A is the right answer. Okay, we've come to the end of this lesson. Remember, all these classes are about not just mathematics, but imagination as well. You need to unleash that three-dimensional eye in you. And yeah, there you go, just like that drawing. Okay, and now go ahead and attempt that quiz. Go ace it and go score.